Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Generic Cappy YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. I'm Amar, otherwise known as Generic Cappy, and today we are just 2 days away from Pokemon Day 2025 and the Pokemon Presents that will be airing on Pokemon Day 2025. So I figured I would do a predictions video talking about some of the things I think we will see, some things we might not see, and just some of my general ones for the Pokemon Presents and Pokemon Day 2025. So if you all enjoy this video, please feel free to leave any comments down below that state your predictions for the presents and the day. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy this video. It will be split into two different parts. The first part being my prediction, like the main predictions part. And then the second part being a bingo card that I made where I just explain some of my predictions that I think I'm a little more confident in, or I just thought was kind of funny. And yeah, so without further ado, let us get right into it. So, like last year, I'm going to split this part of the video into three different segments. The first one being about the animated stuff, the animated series, any animated movies I think that could get announced. Any, I guess, live action movies as well. Any of that, the non-video games type of stuff, Pokemon Worlds, I guess. And yeah, so, it's kind of hard to predict in this way, exactly what I think they're gonna do. Will we see anything from the animated series, Pokemon Horizons? I'm not sure. I know we are, I think, about half a season behind other regions when it comes to Pokemon Horizons. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did a little bit of like a teaser for what's next for the series. But I'm not, too confident in that, just because I know they did that a couple of Pokemon Presents ago. But I think that was just because, it hadn't released yet in the Americas and some other regions. So it made a little more sense to do it then. I don't know if it makes as much sense now, being that the series is, already rolled out in most regions around the world. And, we've seen a lot of what the series entails so far, even if there is, other regions that do have a little bit of a, 10, 12 episodes extension, so they know more of what happens in the future. It just wouldn't, I don't know if it would make sense to see Pokemon Horizons here and, kind of spoil what some of the stuff that could happen, but as well as some already know what happens because they've already seen those episodes. So yeah, so it's a little confusing, I know, but I think we will see something animated series related or just animated related in this presents. They do tend to announce some of their more smaller animation projects that they like release on YouTube or they release, on social media. And I think we'll see another one here. I believe we do have one that they've already announced, but I'm not sure if it's going to be dubbed or subtitled for English or other languages. I know it's in Japanese right now, so we do get different presents depending on the location that it's airing from, or the region that the presents is aimed for. So we could see something different in that one, maybe a little bit of a tease for what that series is. But I believe it also does release on Pokemon Days, so maybe they would just say it's out now, or it's coming out in maybe a couple of minutes right after the present. You can go and watch it, something like that. But I'm not sure if that's the same for every region around the world. It's kind of weird thinking about how we are in an age where the games are now coming out on the same day and everything, but we still are, there's still some points that we do have to talk about that maybe something isn't happening in Europe or the Americas or somewhere around the world, but it's happening in other regions. It's just kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to think about. And when I predict for things like the directs, it's a little bit easier because most Nintendo games, that's what we focus on the predictions for normally. Those are normally coming out on the same day, no matter the region, so they can announce them on the same day, or they can talk about them in the direct, in the same fashion. That isn't really the same for, third-party games, or I guess a lot of things outside the gaming industry in some ways. Yeah, so I think that was just a little bit of a tangent that I was thinking about while I'm talking about, the animated series and Pokemon Horizons. But I do think if there is something non-video game related here and it's gets a big push, well, I guess non-video game and non-TCG related. It gets a big push here. I think it will actually be an announcement for Detective Pikachu 2. I know there's been a lot of tidbits that we found out over the last couple of years about this movie. Maybe it's canceled, maybe it's in the it was shelved, maybe they're actively working on it, stuff like that. But I think we get the official announcement here. It's been close to 6 years since the original movie launched, and since then we got before then we got the game, and since then we got another game. So it would make kind of sense, to announce it here. That game did, Detective Pikachu Returns did release in 2023. So they should have maybe announced it last year if they wanted to ride the hype train of Detective Pikachu at that point. But maybe it also works to do get the game in 2023 and then announce a movie for the series in 2025. I don't know, but I think this is the presents that we see it in. If we do see anything of that kind of fashion here, I think the dream, or not the dream, but something interesting, that could be thrown in is that we see a live action Pokemon series. I know that was speculation about that a while ago, but I'm not sure if that ever is gonna pan out necessarily. But I think we are in the age now where we could get something like that. That would have been a dream 10, 15 years ago, but I think now it's possible. Now that we're seeing more mangas and animated series make that jump over to and I guess video games as well, jump over to live action. I think we could see Pokemon do that, but I think they would have to be kind of careful with that, just in the case that it seems like Pokemon are pretty protective about the IP, the Nintendo Game Freak creatures. It seems like they're very, very protective of the IP, and they want to do a lot of fun things, a lot of different things. They also do play it safe sometimes. I'm not really sure if right now is the best time to do a live action series, but I think if we see anything live action, Detective Pikachu is probably the more likely of the two. I think a live action series is not as likely. And I think we do see something from the animated series here, some sort of animated series, whether it's the one they've already announced, which, I will pull up the title for right now because I don't want to keep saying that and then not really talking about it. So I will pull up the title right now, just so I can be a little more knowledgeable and talk a little bit more knowledgeable on that series. All right, so it wasn't necessarily a series. It is a small little animation that they're doing for a project called Dragonite and the Mailman. So, and it seems like it's a birthday type of thing, so it does make sense to release that on Pokemon Day. So I take a little some of that back. I think we actually might see something more substantial here on the animated side. A short animated series, I would say, is probably a little more likely than seeing a new teaser for Pokemon Horizons. Or if they want to do something worldwide, a worldwide announcement, I think that's a little more likely. But I think you could also see something for Pokemon Horizons. I think we'll see something animation. I think that's more likely than seeing something live action. But if we do see something live action, Detective Pikachu 2 is my choice for that. And then there's one more thing I wanted to mention here, because I do also have it on my bingo sheet, is I think we will see the announcement of a new animated movie. That's been in the ether for a very long time now. Since we haven't, I don't believe we've gotten a new animated movie since 2021. So that was around 4 years ago. Probably a little less. It probably came out the summer of 2021. But that was a little while ago. Normally we used to get them yearly. I believe that was the 24th movie, or the 23rd movie, 24th, 25th, somewhere around there, animated movie. So we are a couple of years removed from that. Maybe that's to do, we don't really have Ash as the protagonist in the Pokemon animated series anymore, and Ash obviously was the focal point of those movies most of the time. So maybe that's a little bit different. Maybe they would have to do it with Lyco and Nico. Actually, let me get those names as well. Let me get all, so I can get everything correct. We're back. All right, yeah, I was about to say Liko and Nico. I don't know why that made sense. It was Liko and Roy. I haven't watched much of this series yet. I'm kind of waiting for all the episodes to release. It seems like not all of them are released, as I mentioned earlier. So, but I'll probably have to start watching that soon because we are looking at Cerebi. We are at episode 57, and Japan is at episode 86. So I do gotta start watching that soon. But I think we could see something there. But maybe we would see a movie that is focused on Liko and Roy. Those characters, the characters from Pokemon Horizons. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Continue that type of the series is mainly where the story is, but we get a movie on Miraidon and Koraidon, or a movie on Terapagos. Though the series, I believe, the series is very focused on Terapagos, I believe. So not necessarily Terapagos, maybe Ogerpon, maybe a series on Ogerpon, or movie on Ogerpon, something like that. But I think that's pretty much all of the movie series type stuff I want to talk about as a prediction. If I had to lay down some predictions, I think we see something from an animated series, whether that be Pokemon Horizons or a show, a new short animated series, or we see something like Detective Pikachu 2 be announced. But I don't know if we get all that. I kind of doubt we get all that unless this is a fairly substantial Pokemon Presents, which it could be. It could very much be a 30-minute Pokemon Presents for all we know. But I think we get something from that. Maybe 2 things. I don't think we get all 3. And then, the animated series, the live action series I talked about earlier, that's a little even less likely, I believe. But the last thing I wanted to mention here is obviously we're going to get like merchandise announcements, whether that's like new clothes. Well, not obviously, it's not like guaranteed or anything, but we could get some like new announcements on like merchandise, like clothing or stuff like that. Pokemon Worlds is just, I believe, 6 months away. I think it's just under 6 months away. Normally this is where they talk about some of the Pokemon World information that for August. At the most recent internationals in Europe, they did mention that obviously Pokemon World is in Anaheim. I knew we knew that from last August, but it's in Anaheim. They showed off the new logo, or like the new art for the Pokemon Worlds this year, featuring some of the Kalos starters, or all 3 of the Kalos starters, which we will get into in just a little bit. And then, they talked about how in March they're going to have like an interest in participation for Pokemon Worlds, like I guess attending Pokemon Worlds. I could see them maybe giving that a date here, when that's going to officially release for, people to enter or people to put their information in to show that you want to be there at Pokemon Worlds this year. But yeah, I think that is pretty much everything that we will see that's like non-game related, non-TCG related, stuff like that. Maybe we'll see a little bit more about Pokemon Worlds, but I think that's probably it. It's kind of hard to predict the non-video game stuff because obviously like the video games, they're going to talk about all the video games they have out now and like all the events and everything. And then for the TCG, we already have a good idea about where the TCG is going to be going for the next couple of months. But the live action, the animated series, Pokemon Worlds, that stuff we don't really know about. So I think they could spend a good amount of time talking about that stuff just because we don't know so much about it yet. And yeah, but let's get into what I think will probably be the most exciting for a lot of people that watch Pokemon Presents. And that is like the TCG and the video games and the mainline series with Pokemon Legends ZA. I have a couple predictions specifically made for that, but let's get right into that, honestly. So I just wanted to start with the TCG because I think that will probably be the shortest part of this video. Not the presents, but like this video, the prediction video. And that's just because I think they are going to focus on battle partners for the actual TCG. I think they're going to talk about battle partners and maybe show off a couple more cards from there. I'm not sure if this set is already released in Japan. I think it's maybe likely. I think battle partners is coming out like in March or April of this year in the US, so I think it would probably be out in Japan by now. But I haven't really been looking at those cards. I'm kind of excited about it. I know it's kind of sold out. Pre-orders are kind of sold out right now, but hoping I'm able to get some of those packs so I can get some battle partner cards. That were pretty cool. Um, but yeah, so I think we're gonna focus on battle partners. I don't know if they're gonna talk about the main set after that, or I guess battle partners wouldn't be a special set because I think we are in a special set right now. With maybe not. Yeah, I think prismatic evolutions is a special set. I don't think there's like single boosters for that. So I guess battle partners will be a normal set. So I don't think they're gonna talk about what's next just yet. At least in the US presents. Maybe in the Japanese presents, if battle partners, the set with battle partners are out, maybe they will talk about what we kind of know is next with Gen 5, Unova packs, Unova themed, cards and everything. I believe it's like a 156, Pokemon set. Like it has all the original Unova Pokemon. But yeah, I think that's it for TCG. TCG Pocket, I think we see a new set be announced, like a new mini set. With like maybe 60 cards or so. Because we're currently on the major, larger set right now, which I will pull up while I'm talking, just so I can get the name of that too. But it's obviously has Dialga and Palkia on the cover, and I don't think they're gonna announce like a new huge set for that just yet. I think they're gonna go into like a mini set, like we did have. I believe I think it was Celebi on the cover. I'm pulling it up now, but I believe actually the Celebi packs might still be out. So let me look at that before. All I've really been opening, it's called Space Time Breakdown, I believe, or Crackdown, Smackdown. Space Time Smackdown is like the main set we have right now, and then we have the not Celebi Mew Mew pack art, which is called Mythic Island. So, which I will also talk about a little later, Mythicals. But I think maybe we see a new special set that will phase out Mythical Islands in like the coming weeks, and I think that's what they talk about here in the presents. But that's it for like TCG Pocket and really the TCG. TCG Live is a little bit weirder to talk about just because obviously it is pretty focused on what the actual TCG is. So, probably whatever packs we see with battle partners or anything be announced, we'll probably also see that in TCG Live at some point very close to launch, if not on launch. But yeah, now we have a couple of smaller things that they could talk about when it comes to video games. Right now, the Unova Tour is going on in Pokemon Go. So, well, actually, the lead up to the Unova Tour, I believe the actual Unova Tour happened last weekend, or on the, if I'm able to get it right, the 22nd and the 23rd. I believe that's correct. So, last weekend of February. And then I think the global tour is this weekend coming up. So, I think that we will maybe get a reminder that the global tour is going on. I personally have been catching a good amount of Pokemon for Unova, just because there is the limited time research that's going on right now. That I'm going on a little bit of tangent here, but there is a limited time research going on right now where there's 3 of them. I believe the codes are on Cerebi, but if you put the codes into your game, you can get if you catch 156 Pokemon, any Pokemon from Unova, you can catch a not incarnate form of Tornadus, the non-incarnate form of Tornadus, Landorus, and Thundurus. Not an Amorous, but obviously because an Amorous isn't from Unova, but I think that's pretty cool. I didn't have them in my game before then, before today, as I'm recording this, but I was actually able to catch the incarnate forms of those 3 just because they have another timed research going on right now that you can catch the 3 Swords of Justice. Well, the 3 of them, Keldeo is not available in it. So Cobalion, Virizion, and Terrakion. And then you can catch the incarnate forms of Thundurus, Landorus, and Tornadus. And there's 5 or maybe 6, 5 or 6, I believe it's 5 options, or not options, but 5 Genesects that you can get, which come with the plates. I'm not sure what they're called. I don't remember what they're called. It's like the fuse plates that like change like its typing or the attacks they can get. You can catch 5 of those. I believe they're all out there, which I can actually probably just pull up easy right now just to, you know, so I don't get that incorrect. But I believe it's, well, actually, I can, let me pull it up. It is, it's the Steel Technoblast. It's the fire, the ice, the water, and electric. So, yes. And you know, let me pull up the names of the, okay, so it's drives. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. The drive. So it's normal, Genesect, the shock drive, burn drive, chill drive, and douse drive. And yeah, so maybe you'll mention here, I don't think there's really too much going on with Pokemon Go outside of this. So I don't think we'll see too much more on the game outside of just them talking maybe about a little bit about the global Unova tour. They have something new going on right now, which I believe they'll probably be using like future tours and community days, which is a tour pass that I have been collecting on as well, just because I have been able to. And yeah, so right now, just, you know, as I'm talking, I'm at 59 out of 156 Unova Pokemon caught, so I'm not too far into it. I'm hoping these time researches end on Sunday, so I'm hoping I'm able to get 156 Unova Pokemon. It should be pretty simple, but we will see about that. But yeah, so Pokemon Go, I think we're gonna see, you know, re-mention the Unova tour. Maybe that they're gonna add, you know, some new Pokemon from Gen 8, or not Gen, yeah, Gen 8 and Gen 9. Maybe they'll reintroduce some mythicals, some legends from the mainline, you know, generation 1 through 9. But yeah, I don't think we'll see too much for Pokemon Go. I don't think we'll actually see anything from Cafe Remix this year. It seems like that game, they're kind of slowing down on updates. If we do have an update for the year, or like a big update, this would be the time to announce it, but it doesn't seem like they're doing too much with Cafe Remix anymore. I could be wrong on that, saying that, but I don't really see it be talked about much outside of like Pokemon Day and stuff like that. So we will see. Obviously, we have Pokemon Masters EX. They can release some new trainers for that. Pokemon Sleep. Maybe we'll get a new island that we can visit while we're sleeping, which would be pretty cool. And then Pokemon Unite is probably the other major thing outside of Pokemon Go that I think we will see, at least like get a, you know, maybe like a headline announcement here. And I think that's just because they're gonna announce that there's gonna be a new Pokemon added. On my bingo sheet, I put a new mode. I think we'll talk about a new mode that I believe that has been some teasing of it from last year's Worlds, that there was a good amount of influencers that were able to play a new mode from Pokemon Unite that they haven't released yet. So I think that'd be pretty cool if they do release a new mode for it. But yeah, I think that we're gonna see a new Pokemon. I'm just gonna sit here and predict that it will be I had it written down in a second. Hippowdon. I think it will be Hippowdon. And then like obviously Hippowhouse and Hippowdon. I think that'll be pretty cool. I'm not sure if they're Unite yet. They might be like the bosses. I don't know what they're called, but like the Pokemon that you can defeat and you get like a lot of orbs from. They could be one of those in the game, but I don't think they are. So I think Hippowdon would be pretty cool. You know, it's a 2-stage evolution, so it'd be kind of weird. You know, a lot of Pokemon. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't, because that's not true. We have a good amount of legends in Unite as well, so you know, we could see that. You know, I think a 2-stage would obviously still work, or one stage evolution. I think it's a 1-stage evolution, and then we also could see like some Unova Pokemon. You know, if they want to play into this being a kind of big year for Unova. You know, I don't think we're gonna get. I'll get into that in a little bit, but you know, we could see Drew. I'm gonna mess up the Pokemon's name because I don't remember how to pronounce it, but it's Druid Digon, the not major dragon type from Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2, but it's like a single stage Pokemon. I think that'd be pretty cool if they want to add some Unova Pokemon to Unite, but I don't think there's actually many Unova Pokemon from Unite, so this would be the perfect time to do that. But I think Hippowdon or Druddigon would be pretty cool. If you all cannot tell, I am not the best at pronouncing Pokemon's names, but yeah. So, maybe even Genesect. I think it'd be kind of cool to have Genesect as like a playable, and like maybe, well then, the way I'm about to say like the drives, like maybe the drives can play into that, but I'm not really sure if there's like a best drive that you could use in, Pokemon for Genesect. So, it would just keep like leveling up on and changing its drives in my thought process. But so I'm not really sure if that would really work super well, but I think that'd be kind of cool nonetheless. But yeah, do I think we will see a new mobile game this year? It's hard to say. Because the last mobile game we got was Pocket last year, and then before that we got Pokemon Sleep. So if they wanted to do a new mobile game like every year, maybe every couple years, maybe this year is a break. If they want to do one this year, it could be something smaller, like a mini game type of game that you just turn on your phone. You open the app, you play it for a little bit. Maybe it has some smaller microtransactions, and then you just like engage with it every day. Something that I think Pokemon TCG Pocket is kind of like, for those that like don't battle. I don't really battle in Pokemon TCG Pocket, but I still open the packs. So yeah, I think that's not possible. There's been some, speculation that maybe we will see a Pokemon Unite type game where it's available on the Switch and on mobile. I think it'd be pretty cool. We haven't got one of those. I guess, Pokemon Go technically is one of those because you can interact with them. But we haven't really got one of those since Pokemon Unite. So, that was 2021, 2020, 2021. So, that was a pretty long time ago. If they do have a new one that they're working on, I think that'd be pretty cool. But I'm not super confident on that. Just because it's kind of like, the rumor is that it's like well, I don't actually want to go into that too much because that could be spoilers in case it is shown off in the presents. But it is it's a very interactive game between the two devices, like between the remote smartphone and the Switch. So I think it's real, but I'm not sure if it's here. That just seems like a interesting game to announce during the big presents. But if it's coming out this year, that is possible. So yeah, I think I'm going to finish this part of the video off on side game, like the side spin-off games for the Nintendo Switch. And then a little bit about what I think we're gonna see Pokemon Legends Z A, and then I'm just gonna go and just, since I spent so much time talking about my predictions, I think I'm just gonna show you what my bingo card is and just maybe say like a little bit about each choice that I made. But yeah, let's get into I think what's probably gonna be the most exciting part for a lot of people, besides like the TCG stuff, and that is the games that they'll show off here and the announcements that they will make for the games. And yeah, so let's get right into that. All right, so I have something to say about the spin-offs first, and that is, if this game is real, the game I was talking about that has like the connectivity between the smart device and the Nintendo Switch, I think that is the main spin-off we will see here. I don't think we're gonna see like a new spin-off and then this announced as well, but there are some spin-offs I would like to see, and that is like a new Pokemon Conquest, a new Pokemon Rumble. I think Mystery Dungeon is probably the most likely. In terms of a new spin-off game, like a game we can get off in a game we can get from a spin-off series that already exists. I don't know if it'd be like a remake of a remake of like Explorers of Sky or Explorers of Time. I'm not really sure if how they would even do that, because those games they're similar, but they do have their own differences. So I guess they would probably just do Explorers of Sky as a remake. And yeah, so I think Mystery Dungeon is probably the most likely. I would love to see a new Pokemon Conquest or a new Pokemon Rumble, something like that. But it really depends on what we see, I think, from if this mobile game is real, if this mobile, the mobile game that has a Nintendo Switch version as well is real, I think we see that. But it's kind of, we didn't, at least at the time of recording, we did not get Nintendo Direct this month. So I think there are a lot of the perspective of what Nintendo is going to be releasing this year will now be pushed, obviously, to the Nintendo Switch to Direct in April. But like for the Nintendo Switch, what they show off here, and then something maybe on Pokemon Day. And yeah, so I guess this Pokemon Presents could actually be pretty big. It could be like a lot of new content that they show off. So I guess it's very possible that they do that game, the mobile Switch game, as well as maybe a new spinoff. I think the new spinoff would be a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, as I mentioned. But there's another game that I've honestly been seeing a lot of people talk about in what the type of game it is, and that is a new Pokemon Battle Revolution. I love Pokemon Battle Revolution. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I think it's a really cool game. It kind of evolves off like the Pokemon Stadium mechanics. When I used to like go over to like family homes, not family homes. I used to go over to go over to my family's homes. We would be playing this. This is how we would play. You normally play Pokemon Diamond and Pearl when like we would want to battle. So, I have a lot of good memories of Pokemon Battle Revolution, and so I think it would be pretty cool for them to bring it back. Would they call it Pokemon Stadium? If they were to bring something like that back, maybe, just because I think that's more recognizable. But if we had a game like that, I think that'd be pretty cool. It would probably it wouldn't even probably be a physical game you can buy. It would probably be something like on the eShop. And I guess that's another vein they could, like another avenue they could do, maybe a new Pokemon Quest, something like that. But I would love a new Pokemon Battle Revolution type game. I think that would be pretty cool. That the reason why I think I brought this up last year as well, but the reason why I did bring it up is because we are kind of in a situation, especially talking about Worlds earlier, where I think the like the tournament system, or every 3 months, the rules change a little bit. You're kind of reaching that point where the rules are near what they were at the end of Sword and Shield's tournament cycle. So it would make sense for them to have something like a Battle Revolution, especially maybe if they add the Legends ZA Pokemon, any new megas or anything, or if they want to add mega capabilities, to the to this year's Worlds or next year's World or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But I'm not too confident they're gonna do something like that. I think they can do Scarlet and Violet this year, and then depending on what next year looks like, I guess it's depending on what this next half of this year looks like, and when Legends ZA releases, I guess maybe they could do Scarlet and Violet next year again, or they could do something like, maybe Gen 10. If Gen 10's out by then, who knows? But I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so that is really all I've got for spin-offs, smaller games, not mainline games. But I think it's time to talk about mainline games. I'm just going to start with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet first. I think we'll hear it mentioned. I think they will talk about some raids. Right now they're rerunning the Iron Leaves and Walking Wake raids. So I think that'd be pretty cool if they just mention it again. Just to tell people that they're doing it for Pokemon Day. I think they do it every Pokemon Day now. At least probably until Gen 10 releases, but I think that's pretty cool that they're going to keep doing that, obviously, because I think those are the only two that aren't available in game. I think obviously I'm gonna try to remember all of them. Roaring Fire, maybe it isn't Roaring Fire. Let me pull up those, but I know obviously Entei, Raikou, Virizion, and Torkonon all have their own Paradox versions. So let me get all of their names. I know some of them, obviously Raging Bolt, Iron Boulder, but yeah, let me get the other two. So the ones I was missing was Entei and Cobalion. And Cobalion is Iron Crown and Entei is Gouging Fire. So I got Raging Fire. I mixed up Entei and Raikou with that one, but Raging Bolt is Raikou. Gouging Fire is Entei. Walking Wake is Suicune. And then we got Iron Leaves, which is Virizion. Iron Boulder, which is Torchion. And Iron Crown, which is Cobalion, which is, are pretty cool. I like that they did that with these three. This was the perfect time to do those, because you can bring them all into the game. Obviously, I don't think we got... Well, actually, maybe we did. I think all three of those are, or all six of them are maybe catchable in Scarlet and Violet. That's something else I can look at right now. But I think it's cool that they are rerunning those updates, the ability to get those Pokemon. But actually, I don't think I'll be able to pull it up in time. I don't want to like keep delaying like the inevitable talking about Legends EA. So yeah, let's just talk about it. What was I saying? Yeah, see, this is what happens. Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna see like a major update unless and I caught this idea a little bit before I made this video. Maybe we see a new mythical Pokemon. This kind of bleeds into Legends EA, so I will get into that like right now. I think we're gonna get a pretty big segment on Legends EA during this Presents. Looking back to how they announced mainline games in the past, sometimes they would have a trailer like that we got for the original Legends EA reveal, or they have a Sun and Moon reveal, which didn't really even show us as much as the Legends EA reveal kind of showed us. But sometimes the first reveal, all I'm saying is that sometimes the first reveal we get for mainline games isn't always the most complete. We don't really see the game sometimes. And so I'm thinking that this will be a pretty major showing for Legends EA, because I think it's honestly coming out earlier than November. I honestly maybe think it's coming out in June or July. Just because, I think they're going to treat this like what we see with before like the Pokemon Presents era, where we would get a direct in February that would announce, something like Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. And then in June, we would see a major, push for those games. We would see the box Legends. We would see new Pokemon from the games. We would see a bunch of new things, pushing us towards the November release. I think this will serve as the June showing for that game, like the equivalent of what we would see in the June or August showing for these games. With this game, compared to those ones. Just because I think they're going to say, oh, we showed Legends EA last year. That is like our little teaser for showing off what the game was like, where the game's gonna be located. It is a Gen 6 Legends game, which is very, very exciting. But I think this, that is where kinda we are. I think either they do that or they do what we normally see, or not what we normally see, but what we saw with like the Sword and Shield reveal, or the Scarlet and Violet reveal, or like the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee reveal, where, and I guess pretty much a lot of our reveals, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, where we do see a bunch of gameplay, or a good amount of gameplay, and then not too much. We see the first partner Pokemon, and like maybe some of the characters, maybe we're introduced like a 1 or 2 new Pokemon, but I'm kind of leaning towards them doing a much bigger reveal for Legends EA on Thursday. And the new mythical thing comes into play because I think we will see what a legendary Pokemon is if they do follow like this what I'm talking, not mythology, but what I'm talking about, where I think they will talk about a good amount about the games. The game is called Pokemon Legends ZA. So obviously Z is Zygarde, but I think there is going to be an A legendary or A mythical or an A Ultra Beast. I think the Ultra Beasts might have a play in this game. Like you can maybe catch them or see them at least, based on what we know a little bit about Zygarde, and why Zygarde was in Alola. But yeah, I think we will see a pretty big major push for Legends EA in this. I've been going back and forth on the first partner Pokemon that I think we will see announced for Legends EA, and I haven't fully decided. My thought process is they probably aren't going to do um, a Gen 1 because that's already got a Mega Evolution. They're probably not going to Gen 3 because that's not a Mega Evolution. And then they're probably not going to Gen 6 unless all three are Greninja, Fennekin, and Chespin. I don't think they're going to do those unless they, like, obviously just, again, do the original starter trio for Kalos. So, what I've been thinking is that we will see Chikorita, we will see Piplup, and we will see if I can I am blanking a little bit, but we will see Chikorita, Piplup, and either Litten, but I'm kind of thinking about, maybe not Litten, but or Scorbunny. Litten or Scorbunny. I don't think we're going to see a thing from Gen 9 just because that'd be kind of weird because this game is also still taking place in Gen 9, so it'd be kind of weird just to do a Generation 9 starter again. I could do something from Gen 5, and they've been kind of pushing Gen 5, so it makes sense to do either Tepig or Snivy as well. But, and again, technically any starter is possible. I think those three regions that I mentioned, and then obviously maybe like not Oshawott, not Cyndaquil, and not Rowlet. I think obviously like those are out of the table. So anything from a Chikorita or Totodile to a Piplup, Chimchar, or Turtwig, or obviously the Gen 5, as I mentioned, Tepig, Tepig and Snivy, or the Gen 7s in Popplio and Litten, or Scorbunny, Gen 8 Scorbunny, Sobble, and Grookey. And then I don't think Gen 9. So yes, but that my trio would be Chikorita, Piplup, and I'm just gonna say Scorbunny. They did Rowlet from Gen 7 in a Gen 8 game. Now they're gonna do Scorbunny from Gen 8 in a Gen 9 game, something like that. And I think this is kind of, I don't think we're gonna see it here, but I think all three of them do get Megas. The 3 starter trio, whether it is the Kalos starter trio or it's the different trio, I think the game for them will be getting new Mega Evolutions. I think we're gonna see a new Mega Evolution in this trailer as well. But that's like my predictions for Legends EA. It's pretty hard to predict, what we're gonna see from a pretty much first gameplay reveal of the game. But that's my initial really like major thoughts on what we'll see from Legends EA this in its like second reveal, first gameplay reveal type of thing. So new Mega Evolution, the first partner Pokemon, a June-July release. I think, and then obviously the first gameplay look. I think that's where I'm at the Legends EA reveal. But the reason why I did bring up the new Mythical in Scarlet and Violet or Legends EA is like I do think that we do have a new Mythical either between Legends EA and Scarlet and Violet. Maybe they do another event in Scarlet and Violet that like has a little bit extra story connected to it, but it'd be kind of weird to see that in Scarlet and Violet because we already had the epilogue that introduced Peacharunt. But I still think it'd be pretty cool just to get a new Mythical, before Gen 10 releases. Maybe a Gen 10 Mythical teased in Legends EA would be pretty cool, but that, or as I mentioned, new Mega Evolution, or what I think the A Legendary maybe is a Legendary or an Ultra Beast. It could be a Mythical, but because obviously Arceus also is a Mythical, so it makes sense to have Zygar's Legendary, the Mythical, the A Pokemon. So, but I think it's probably gonna be a Legendary or an Ultra Beast if the Ultra Beasts are tied into the game. Finally, I just wanted to end with just a little mention that it's possible. It's always possible we see something from Generation 5 in this Pokemon Presents. I don't think we are. There's been a lot of rumors about a new Nova remake, Black and White 2, something like that. I think I would get my fill of Gen 5 if we get a new Pokemon Conquest, since that was from Generation 5. But, it's always possible, if Legends EA does release in June or July, that they do decide to do Generation 5 remakes for the end of the year. I don't think so, but that'd be kind of fun. And then, the somewhat obligatory mention of Generation 10. Technically, this year would have been Generation 10 if they followed the 3-year cycle. Next year is the 30th anniversary, so that's why I'm feeling that they probably will hold off on doing a Generation 10 reveal, just because they probably want to get that out for next year. They probably want to release it next year. Maybe it's already finished, who knows, but they probably want to get it out for next year, or out next year for the 30th anniversary. So maybe, again, this is all really dependent on when Legends ZA is coming out, but I think that there's a chance that we see a Gen 10 tease in this Presents, but I'm not putting too much into that. I think if we do see something Gen 10, it'll be next year. It will release next November, and depending on what we see, if we get like another Presents in June or August, maybe they could tease it there. But I think this Presents will be mainly focused on Legends ZA. That is all my predictions that I have, but as I mentioned, I will just do a little bit of a video just talking about what I think what my bingo card looks like. So let's get right to that, and then we can have a little bit of an outro, and I'll tell you my plans for the Pokemon Presents when it airs. All right, and now we are at the bingo card. I did switch over to OBS because I figured it'll be a little bit easier to show you on my bingo card while just talking a little bit about my selections. But that also reminded me that I did get a new microphone. So if you all do like this microphone, please let me know down in the comments below. I think the audio sounds a little bit better than my other one, just because this one I think blocks out the background noise a little bit better. Yeah, that's kind of beside the point, but I just want to let you all know. And if you do think it's pretty cool, again, let me know down in the comments below. So I have my 24 selections and the Pokemon Day logo in the middle, as is custom with my bingo cards, just because I do want my free spot. I want my free spot. But a lot of these selections are things I already mentioned. Like my first spot is we will see the first partner Pokemon for Pokemon Legends ZA. Again, I think it will be. I've decided. Obviously, I was going between Litten and Scorbunny at the end of the video. I think it will be Scorbunny, so it will be Chikorita, Piplup, and Scorbunny. I think that's them, in my opinion. If I can get one of those correct, that'd be pretty cool. I hope maybe they're the original trio. We will have to see. But yeah, and then I think we will see a new set from Pokemon TCG Pocket. As I mentioned earlier, maybe it will be a new Nova themed set, but we will see. Something new Pokemon spin-off. I mentioned that in the video. It could be what is currently being rumored, or it could be something different. But what I'm saying here is I think we will see a new spin-off series introduced. So maybe if it's like something from like the Battle Revolution type of thing, but it's not called Battle Revolution, or it's not called Pokemon Stadium, I would count that here. But we will see. I kind of added this last minute just because of that rumor, just in case that's true. We can get a little bit thing here, but I did also include a bunch of different spin-offs that I think could get announcements. And I added like a little bit of I guess we'll see when we get there, but I added like a little bit of a subtitle to them, which is the same subtitle for all of them, but it's also the same subtitle on Detective Pikachu. So I thought that was pretty cool. New Pokemon animated series, which is something I mentioned. This could be like a mini series, or it could be like a full new expansion off Horizons. We'll have to see. A new mythical. I include Patreon here, but it could be any new mythical, a Gen 9, Gen 10 type mythical type of thing. Pokemon Battle Revolution returns. That's the subtitle. Just like Detective Pikachu 2. It's in red too, but Pokemon Battle Revolution, as I mentioned earlier, I think that'd be pretty cool. I do have very fond memories of Pokemon Battle Revolution, so it'd be cool. It would be cool if they did it again. Gen 10, a Gen 10 tease. I think so far the least likely is probably this, followed by maybe a new spin-off series, and then maybe Battle Revolution, and then maybe a new mythical, and then an animated series. This is probably the most likely so far, but I just wanted to add it. You never know. It could be possible. Pokemon Go news. I will count Unovator, I think, being here if they mention it, just because that is technically news on Pokemon Go, even if we don't know. I mean, if we already knew about it, Maybe they'll talk about the tour um, pass that they're doing now, something like that. But I think we'll see that here more than likely. Pokemon Legends ZA first gameplay look. Same thing with the partner Pokemon. I think this is probably the most likely thing. This might even be more likely than the first partner Pokemon. I think we are pretty much guaranteed, I think, to see Pokemon Legends ZA here. If not, I guess we'll see it at some point later this year, but I think we're pretty much guaranteed to see it here. And it'll be our first look at it since last Pokemon Day, so a whole year, which would be kind of exciting. Well, a whole year plus a day since last year was a leap day. Leap year. So, I didn't mention it in my video, but older mainline Pokemon games making it on the Nintendo Switch. This wasn't really something I'm like extremely confident in. I think it would be not Gen 10, but a 30th year anniversary type thing. They can release it both on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2, which is not something I also didn't mention. I don't think we see any mention of the Nintendo Switch 2 during this whole Presents, just because I think Nintendo probably wants to be the first to announce a first party game for the Pokemon, not for the Pokemon, for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I don't think they would give, technically, even though Pokemon is obviously they own part of Pokemon, I don't think that this is the avenue that they would reveal a Switch 2 game, whether that would be Pokemon Legends ZA or Gen 10 or something like that. And I think they will hold off on the 30th anniversary. I think they'll hold off until the 30th anniversary to introduce games like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gen 2, Gen 3. I don't think we go as high as Gen 4, but Gen 1 through 3, I think this is maybe they tease Gen 1 here. Maybe they do release Gen 1, but I don't think we see anything more than Gen 1 this year. I think next year will be probably the best year to do Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Gen 5, something Gen 5 related. Again, I think this probably is, this does lend itself to being, I'm talking about Gen 5 remakes. But, if we get something like Pokemon Conquest, I have Pokemon Conquest on the bingo card, but if we get something like Pokemon Conquest, maybe I'll count it. Just something from Gen 5, I'm feeling. A new Mega Evolution. Again, I mentioned this is a Mega Evolution game with Legends ZA. I think they're going to have new Mega Evolutions. I think that'll be like their main thing. From in Arceus, we had Hisui forms. And that was like older Pokemon, Pokemon that doesn't really exist in the modern day, except I guess now Ursaluna does, but Pokemon that doesn't exist now in the modern day. So I think new Mega Evolutions, that also does kind of make me feel like we will see these Mega Evolutions maybe introduced again, and I didn't really mention this, but I think there's a chance this game does take place in the present, and it's kind of taking the form of what would be a stopgap between the original X and Y and X and Y remakes, in the fact that I think these Mega Evolutions will exist in the modern day, whatever that is, whether that's in Gen 10 or X and Y remakes in 10 years or so. But I think we will see new Mega Evolutions. I think they will be ones that we talk about, in the future again and again, because we'll see them again and again. Mystery Dungeon returns. Again, this could be remakes, but I think something Mystery Dungeon, if we do get a spin-off here, is probably the most likely. And then something like, maybe a new Pokemon Snap or something like that is following that. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news. Again, this could just be mentioning the raids for Walking Wake and Iron Leaves have returned, but it could also be something like a new mythical or something like that. But we just have to wait and see on that. Detective Pikachu 2. I didn't put it in returns, but Detective Pikachu 2, the movie. Again, we'll have to see. Something live action. I didn't put a live action series here, so live action, I'm putting all of my bets on Pokemon. I guess it'd be called Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2. That appearing in this Presents. If we do something live action. New legendary. I include Zygarde, but if a new legendary is introduced, I think it would be the A Pokemon, whatever the A Pokemon ends up being, as I mentioned. So, a Zygarde's equivalent, I guess. Pokemon Unite, a new mode. I didn't include new Pokemon. That's obviously probably more likely than a new mode, but I think we see anything Unite, I think it's obviously we're gonna see new Pokemon, but new Pokemon and new mode. So I'm thinking new mode. We'll have to see. TCG battle partners. Again, I think they'll talk about the battle partner set. I'm not sure they'll go into the Unova set just yet. We have to see on that, but I think battle partners is probably more likely. A new Ultra Beast, as I mentioned. I'm really putting my bets on these Pokemon being the A Legendary or the A Ultra Beast or the A Mythical. But I think we will see, I'm hoping we'll see at least one of these get correct. You know, a new Mythical, a new Ultra Beast, or a new Legendary. Pokemon Legends EA June/June release. Again, it could be November, it could be October, but it could be October like X and Y was, but June, July, you know, it depends on how much we see from the game on Thursday, but I'm hoping at least it's June, July, just because I think that'd be pretty cool. Pokemon Rumble returns, and at that, Pokemon Conquest returns. Again, this is like pretty much just once. I guess the Generation 5 thing is also a want. I guess June, July is also a want, but again, you know, these are probably my two favorite spin-offs from the I guess like Mystery Dungeon and Battle Revolution, but these are like my two favorite spin-offs, so it would be cool to see them again. And then to finish it off, a new animated movie. As I mentioned, we haven't got one in a while, so I think this will be the time to do it. And Pokemon Concierge, I didn't put season 2 here, but it would be Pokemon Concierge season 2, which is kind of like a mix between animation and live action, so because it's like claymation. So yeah, that is all I have for you all today. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so we can get the whole bingo card. Yes, the whole bingo card, and I had Lumiose Tower from the reveal of Legends EA as the background. But yeah, that is all I have for you all today. So I hope you all enjoyed this pretty long predictions video. I tried to go in depth on as many predictions as I could. But yeah, my plan is to do a reaction to the Pokemon Presents on Thursday. So I will see you all then. Again, if you all like this microphone, please feel free to put down your thoughts on it, the predictions you have for Pokemon Presents in the comments down below. And yeah, I will see you all on Thursday. Make sure to make you happy. Rhymes Generic Happy. I hope you all have a great Pokemon day. I'll say that again on Thursday, but I hope you all have a great Pokemon day. I hope you all play bingo on Pokemon Presents Day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Yay! Pokemon Presents is coming up.